got it to the right.
Hello, everyone. Basically, we've managed to develop an application that it's based on a business to consumer and consumer to business model. What we've done is we realize that consumers are basically always looking for savings, and retailers are always looking to increase their sales. So we've created a model whereby consumers can search a database with thousands and thousands of different offers from a number of different retailers. And in addition to that, the consumers can share that content on Facebook. So what we do there is we allow the consumers to use our platform to basically grab offers or any sort of thing. They can share a store, they can share the platform, anything that has to do with our platform. They can share it out there through their social environments, and they basically are creating value by doing that. They're creating value by sharing. So I decided to call it social activity currency, for the lack of a better name. So now what we do is we allow the retailer to take a look at all that activity and to somehow measure it with some special stuff that we've done for them, and then create individualized offers in response to that social activity currency on the part of consumers. Now, what does the consumer get? The consumer basically uses the platform to search for products and save and interact with retailers and other consumers on behalf of the retailer, working for the retailer indirectly. Now, the consumer can search for items from a specific retailer. The consumer can add those items to his shopping list and use a savings comparison engine that we have that tells him, hey, listen, this is where you should be buying this and this and that. Now, also, the consumer is encouraged to use the Facebook activity engine so that he creates value for the retailer. On top of that, the consumer can basically take their phone, take a picture, and upload an offer. So he's browsing around a store and he saw something of interest. He can take a picture of it and use we want to use the crowd power to have thousands of people uploading that up there, to the content up there on behalf of the retailer again, and creating more value. So we also, remember, all of this is being watched by the retailer. The retailer can in turn generate income for us by monitoring, by responding to user activities, rewarding the customers, and creating specialized offers that they have access to dashboards, item activities, competitor activity. They have access to a bunch of tools that allow the retailer to directly respond, immediately respond. Now, where is the opportunity? We already have this running in Puerto Rico. We have thousands of users. We know how to get the users. We know, the apps are going through a crisis right now. We know how to get the users, and we know how to keep them involved. So what we're trying to do right now is, get some money to finish it in Puerto Rico, make sure that it works tip-top, then bring it to the States, which, then we can let users such as small business users, medium-sized business users, to take advantage of the platform to compete against larger retailers. That's basically where we are. Right now, tell you the truth, for example, I was showing one thing there. Supermarkets brands in Puerto Rico spend $65 million a year in the little inlets that they put on choppers, basically on newspapers. That's not very effective, but they spend $65 million a year in that. We want to get our share of that. This is just supermarkets. We're not talking about pharmacies, there's hardware stores, there's clothing stores, apparel, there's all kinds of stores that can do that. So we are creating a community, self-perpetuating a community in which consumers and retailers, brands collaborate to grow. That's basically where we are right now. Can I do it? Right on there.
Wow. That's your cue.
I got you. So, have any questions? This gives you an idea of the actual environment and how it runs. Since we have a server in California, we have another server in Iceland under Azure, and obviously a whole bunch of components there. Go right ahead.
So are you focusing on the smaller businesses, or are you actually trying to get involved with the bigger corporations such as Myers and the like?
You know what? The idea would be to really get involved. What we've done in Puerto Rico is we've gotten, we ourselves, we're inputting content from larger, companies to attract users. The users go there, they save, but at the same time, these tools that we provide them to the medium and small businesses. The idea here would be that give it to all these, instead of Walmart having it, let Tom's have it, etc. That type of thing. We create an environment where they don't have the money to spend a few $100,000 in or maybe they do, but it's expensive to develop all these technologies. So we can help them create these type of environments and collaborate.
Now, is that an interactive database between these companies then?
Excuse me?
A database of collected information between the companies?
Yeah, it's a database of collective information, and they can it depends on how they want to work with it. They can pay us, for example. There's different levels of payments for the subscription, in which we can provide it with different levels of of information. We can give them all the way information on competitive issues with. Even at the item level, so there's anything we can do, pretty much anything. We're open. We're seeing how in Puerto Rico how it goes. We're playing it by ear there right now. So basically, the money we need is to make the machine work. We already get, for example, we did in San Juan an 8-hour Facebook campaign, and in that 8 hours we had 1,000 users. And one thing that I want to comment on is that right now apps are having a hard time being downloaded, much less keeping the users, stay there and using it. So we've got a formula. We know how to make the downloads happen. We know how to run those campaigns on Facebook, which is the one that is really going to give us the downloads. And we know how to keep the users active, current, involved, so that they don't, put it away and goodbye, no more app. So we know how to do those things. That's basically where we are right now. We want to bring it over here, obviously. Go ahead, sir.
Two quick questions. First of all, how many retailers do you have in Puerto Rico? And secondly, are you going beyond retailers to wholesalers, distributors, manufacturers, or just sticking with
It's interesting because at the moment that you have retailers, you have brands. And when you have brands, then you're going out to manufacturers. So in a sense, indirectly, yes, we do have manufacturers involved in this. Right now, we have about 15 supermarkets in Puerto Rico. We're starting to bring pharmacies in. We're bringing hardware stores. And the nice thing about this is that we don't have to be in the middle. We teach them, we train them, and they put somebody in charge, and they do everything. They can even post publicity. We have a publicity engine, so if they want to put a little, banner down at the bottom that shows something, they can do it themselves. So the nice thing there is they have all these tools to act independently, and we let the two of them interact. We're out of the loop, and we let them interact. So yes, we have about 15 supermarkets. We have some pharmacies that are starting to come online. What we want to do is we want to do it right, though. The pilot that we did allowed us to see all of the different intricacies of making this thing work. Now we need money to get the machine going. I know that if we put some money in there, and we can get 100, 200,000 users in a couple of months. So now what we do need, though, is capital to make sure that we stay with our north and don't fail. But we know how to get the users out. That's where we are at right now.
Okay, anybody else? Question? Okay, over.